It's Johnny, fit over 50, from Sunnyvale, California, and you're watching Muscle Sport TV.
And welcome to this week's episode of NFL Coast to Coast. I am Joe Pietaro here in New York, and Dave Comerica Muscle Goys, over on the left coast, California, sunny California. David, what's up, pal?
What's going on, guys? I hope everybody's having a great weekend. And that's it. Let's get on to this show.
Let's get on to the show. A little bit, let me just preface it with both you and I were in Las Vegas doing the Olympia, so we were unable to really watch football this weekend because we were in the air on Sunday pretty much the whole day. So
Exactly.
Our homework is a little light this week because we didn't have a chance to really watch the games. But I just want to point out Cytomelt from ExplicitLabs.com. I used this before I fucking went to the Olympia. Now, you room with me. You saw me almost naked. How did I look? Did I look all right? Yeah. Was I slim? Because I tried to drop a few pounds. So I didn't want to look like a pig while I was covering the Olympia.
No, you look good. You look good. For your age, dude, a lot of people wish they looked that good.
I love that. Hey, Mason's in the house. Evolution. Hey, Kevin Grench. Kevin, great job, by the way, on the IFBB NPC stuff, man. You and I are the only fucking two that had the balls to even talk about that shit, man. These fucking sites suck cock in this industry. Oh, we can't say a word. We're going to get no press passes that we don't get anyway. All right, let's talk about Cytomelt makes your hair jet black. Only side effect. Thank you, Jose. All right, Dave, last week's game started Thursday while we were in Las Vegas. And we caught some of this game, like at the casino bar, but the NFL network wasn't in the room when we went upstairs to actually try to watch some of it. So we only caught like glimpses of this game. And once again, the Bungles bungled it. It was bungle in the jungle.
You know, for the scoring games, I got stats for everything, so I am prepared.
Thank you.
Did not get to physically watch anything, not even the Monday night game. But I do have all the stats on who's the top performers and everything. And honestly, Joe, I'm kind of glad we went out Thursday because that Texans game 13-9,
brutal, and
from the stats sucked. I'm glad we didn't sit there and waste our time for 3 hours for that game.
Yes, it did look very boring. We did see some of the highlights on SportsCenter that night because we had ESPN in the room, even though we didn't have NFL Network. But Watson had a nice touchdown run. It looked like the fucking Bengals were just like pretty much saloon door defense on this. I mean, he was juking guys. They were barely moving. He had these guys flat-footed. So I don't know if his stats were good, but he's a rookie on the road. First win in the NFL. You take what you can get.
Here's your stats for Houston, since you just mentioned Watson. Watson was the leading rusher in that whole entire team.
Oof.
With 67 yards and the one touchdown. As far as QB rating, he threw 15 for 24 and 125 yards.
That's a quarter for most quarterbacks that are good. You know, 120 yards.
He did better as a running back than he did as a QB.
Yeah. Well, he's got some, good legs. He's one of those scat back kind of guys. He could actually, run in the pocket. He's got some good moves. But you don't want him. I mean, the days of Arian Foster are long gone for the Texans. I mean, that's a team now. At least it looks like they settled on Watson. I mean, they look kind of lousy in that first game of the year, losing to the Jaguars. And then they replaced Savage at the half, and they wait till like the 11th hour to name Deshaun Watson as the starter. Regardless, I don't care if the Bengals are bad this year, which obviously they are, but good game for Houston, and they're probably going to commit to this kid and see what he can do for the rest of this year. I don't think Savage comes back unless there's an injury here.
I agree.
Yeah.
And we talked about that anyway. We knew they'd go with Watson. I just didn't think it would be like that soon. I thought he'd at least be waiting 4 or 5 games.
Yeah, well, we both said that in the preview of the AFC. I tell you that's really a bad thing on Bill O'Brien, the head coach's part, because if you're going to the bullpen that fast in the second half of game one, you didn't pick the right guy. That's quick to give a hook. It's not like he got banged up. I mean, that was a coach's decision there to change quarterbacks, halftime adjustment. So I think, both of those teams don't look like they're really doing great this year. Bengals lose the first 2 games at home. I mean, you start off a season 0-2, and that's bad, man. Especially you already dropped 2 in your own building. So we're going to be talking, Paul, about the Phil Heath and all of that stuff tomorrow. Today's the football show, NFL show. So tomorrow is the normal Ask Me Anything. I will be more than happy to talk about all of the antics that went on in Las Vegas. Oh, West Coast Johnny, my 49ers lost to the Seattle Sleazecocks, just like you and Dave predicted. Yeah, well, come on, you got to admit the 49ers.
Yeah, Johnny, that wasn't a hard pick, bro.
No, that was one of the easy ones for me. But let's move on to the Sunday 1:00 games, which was 10 in the morning by us, and we were already en route or at the airport. We were already at the airport. The Brownies play the Baltimore Ravens in Baltimore, and Baltimore wins 2-0. I mean, Baltimore, I had them, left for dead. I thought, like, Flacco was going to be rusty and then banged up. So far, so good for the fucking Birdies. They're 2-0. Cleveland Browns. They're the Cleveland Browns. I mean, they're 0-2. Is anybody surprised that they lost 2? What was some of the numbers from this game, Dave?
You got Kaiser for the quarterback for Cleveland, 15 for 31, 182 yards, and 0 touchdowns. You got Crowell, the running back, 10 attempts, 37 yards, no touchdowns. And wide receiver Higgins, 7 receptions, 95 yards. He was a superstar, but again, 0 touchdowns. Ravens, Flacco, 25 for 34 for a whopping 217 yards, but 2 TDs. And then Allen, 14 attempts, 66 yards, 0 TDs. And Watson, 8 receptions, 91 yards, and no TDs.
So Flacco, efficiency numbers, but not a lot of yardage. I mean, in the low 2s.
Not a lot of yardage, but
Scores.
he hit pay dirt twice.
Yeah. So when Flacco's healthy, the Ravens are a good team. When Flacco's out, the Ravens are a bad team. It goes as Flacco goes. He's been healthy first 2 games. I guess he shook the rust off. I mean, I guess for Flacco, that is kind of rusty, 224 yards. I mean, this guy's a Super Bowl winner. So for him, I guess, I mean, it's a good win. It's a home game, divisional game. You always want to win those games regardless if the opponent's weak or not. And Deshaun Kaiser, not great stats, but not horrible either. I mean, sometimes you'll see these rookie quarterbacks on weak teams throw for 90 yards and like 3 picks. Yeah. So not terrible.
He's still below 50.
Yeah,
15 for 31.
Yeah, he's not he's not breaking any records,
No. But they're building the team around him, so let the guy throw.
Yeah, I mean, basically it's a mulligan year for Hugh Jackson and the Cleveland Brownies because they have all those draft picks they allotted for next year and the year after. So no surprise there. We both picked that game. Then moving on, the Bears at Tampa Bay. Bears are bad. Tampa Bay is like a mediocre, maybe okay team some Sundays. Tampa wins this one. I don't know anything about this one, bro. I'm not going to even lie. I didn't watch highlights for it.
Okay, well, Winston went 18 for 30 for 240 yards and a touchdown. Rodgers got 19 attempts at 67 yards on the ground and 1 touchdown. And Mike Evans got 7 receptions, 93 yards for 1 touchdown. So that was for Tampa.
Yeah.
So that's not that bad.
No.
Now, on the flip side, Glennon actually had a really good game. He went 31 for 45 for 301 yards and a touchdown. So he actually outperformed Winston. And then you got Cohen, 7 attempts for only 13 yards. that was your rushing leader. Yeah. And wide receiver Kendall Wright, 7 receptions, 69 yards, 0 touchdowns. Glennon, so again, that's a game that we didn't miss. It wasn't a big deal.
Glennon coming back to Tampa Bay. Good for him. I mean, he's waited a long time to get some starts. Fozzie's surprised at how poor the Giants have performed in both games. You and I both, bro. I picked them both times. Yeah. We'll get to the Giants in a little bit. But very surprised, I'm very disappointed. 9 sacks in 2 games that offensive line has given up. But then you got Minnesota at Pittsburgh. This is actually a game against two good teams. Minnesota's, I mean, they're playing at Pittsburgh, out of conference game. Tough game for them to go on the road in Pittsburgh. Both of us picked the game. The Steelers win, but I mean, Minnesota. That's not the end of the world for them losing a game against the Pittsburgh Steelers, are one of the top teams in the AFC right now. So, what did you have in that game as far as numbers go with the Steelers and the
Big
Vikes?
Ben, 23 for 35, 243 yards, 2 touchdowns. Bell was the leading
Russia.
ground, 27 carries, 87 yards, 0 TDs. And Bryant, 3 receptions, 91 yards, and 1 TD. So they did good. On the flip side, Keenum, 20 for 37, 167 yards, nothing. Big goose egg. And Rudolph, 4 receptions and 45 yards. So, Vikings, their stats showed their low score.
Yeah, I mean 1-1 and Pittsburgh's 2-0. Fozzie says feels Pittsburgh could go all the way. Absolutely. I mean,
Pittsburgh is always up there.
they're always up there. Obviously, New England is one of the tougher teams in football of all time, and they're in the conference. But Steelers do what they're supposed to do. They beat the Brownies last week. They beat the Vikings this week, and there's Stella with his Eagles over there. Then speaking of New England, they beat New Orleans in the Dome. Another game that both of us had. New Orleans, I don't know. I mean, you were higher on them than I was. I can't knock them for losing this game, though. I'm not knocking them to losing to Brady, especially after New England laid an egg on opening night. I mean, they probably...
We said that. We said Brady's going to come back with a passion, and he sure did, man.
Yeah. Big game.
He went 30 for 39, Joe. 447 yards and 3 touchdowns.
That is like typical Tom Brady when he needs a big game.
Brady. That's Brady numbers.
What else did they have? What did they do on the other?
You got Gillespie, 18 attempts, 69 yards, and 1 touchdown. And then you got Gronk, 6 receptions, over 116 yards, and 1 TD.
You know what? That's typical Patriots. Under 100 yards from their top running back, and their top receiver was the tight end. They don't have these big number guys except for Brady. It's like he spreads it around. He gets 4 touchdowns throwing to guys that other quarterbacks probably wouldn't be able to hook up with for a good first down. And this guy finds them wide open. So that goes on the quarterback.
Gronk got a groin pull too.
When is he not banged up?
That's a typical Gronk. He gets hurt. When he performs, he's performing, but when he's hurt, he's always good to be out for some games.
Yeah.
Then you got Saints too. I mean, for the score, Breeze 27 for 45, 356 yards and 2 TDs. And Ingram and Peterson. Me and you got this little thing going about Ingram.
Yeah,
and Peterson.
What was the numbers there? Because I didn't even look at the box score on that one.
Ingram had exactly the same amount of attempts, 8, as Peterson. He gained only 52 yards, and Peterson only gained 26.
Peterson's done, bro. I said that.
Oh, my God.
When we had that bet, I said, oh, man, it was like taking candy from a baby. But you're beating me in the other thing, so looks like we're going to have a push on that $20 total bet. Peterson's done, bro. 8, but you know what? That shows you only 16 carries from your first 2 running backs. They were behind. I'm just guessing because I didn't see it. They were probably behind early, and they had to, abandon the run and go throw the ball, try to move it down, try to do scores quick. You can't just chug at that point when you're down. That's the case when you play New England. They can strike. Could be 14-0 before you blink, and you're down 2.
Yeah.
So
that explains why Breeze threw that ball 45 times.
Yeah. Well, that guy's got a rubber arm, man. He can throw the ball for fucking like crazy. I mean, he's just and then maybe they're playing some prevent at the end, but Breeze is still good. But 0-2 for the New Orleans Saints, 1-1 for the defending world champion New England Patriots. Pretty much typical right there, from as far as I'm concerned. New England's on the way up, and New Orleans is probably going to continue having a lousy year. And then we have Stellar's favorite team, the Birdies, the Philadelphia Eagles, go to one of the toughest places to play in the NFL, Arrowhead Stadium. Kansas City Chiefs win again after beating the Pats. Go 2-0. And what is the Philly? They went 1-1, right? Because they beat the Skins in opening weekend. So Kansas City, man, they had 12 wins last year. They're on their way again, bro.
I know they're the only one that I worry about in my division.
Against
Kansas
Oakland.
City's a solid team.
Yeah.
But that's a game I actually kind of wish I watched. That looked like it was a good game.
Yeah.
Alex Smith went 21 for 28 with 251 yards and one TD, and then you had Hunt went 13 attempts for 81 yards and two TDs. So their rushing game was on point.
That kid's good, man.
And then you had Kelsey, their tight end, leading the receivers, 8 receptions, 103 yards, and one TD.
That rookie running back he's had a huge game against New England, and now he's under 100 but 2 scores. So
yeah, he's something. And then on the flip side, you got Philly. You got Wentz, 25 for 46 for 333 yards and 2 TDs. He was also the rushing leader of the day, 55 yards with 4 attempts and 0 touchdowns. So they had 0 ground game whatsoever. When your quarterback's leading that's pretty bad.
Yes.
And then you had the tight end for Zach Ertz leading the receptions too, 5 receptions, 97 yards.
Yeah, I mean Wentz, he's having a pretty good year. He had a nice opening game. Packers injury lost that game against Atlanta. Hey, Mikey, what's up, crazy? I forgot to tag you. I'm sorry, bro. I put the post up like at 2 minutes to fucking 3 today. A lot of shit going on here. Kansas City, Fozzie said they always start off good, but they falter in the playoffs. Very accurate statement.
Yeah.
They do have trouble when it comes down to money time. I guess.
Not like Dallas.
Yeah, and I guess until Andy Reid wins the big one, he's going to have that monkey on his back. He's got as far as the Super Bowl with the Eagles, and then he lost. So, good game though. Philly and Kansas City. So you got 1-1 and 2-0, and then you got the Titans, the team I was really high on, going to Jacksonville and then winning because they lost to the Raiders the week before at home, and Jacksonville falls to 2 1-1 teams in the same division there. How did Mariota, was he the top guy for them?
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
Mariota went 15 for 27 for 215 yards and 1 TD.
Yeah, that's not big.
And then you had David Henry taking the ground attack, 14 attempts, 92 yards, 1 touchdown, and Delaney Walker, 4 receptions, 61 yards for 1 touchdown.
Those are shit numbers from that's not big output at all for them.
For 37 points, I know. I was surprised too.
Yeah, that's Mariota, 218 yards. This kid's he's got to be throwing for three and change. He's got that type of talent. He's got offensive weapons all over the place on that team.
Mm-hmm. And on Jacksonville, on the flip side, Bortles went 20 for 34, 223 yards and 1 TD. Fournette got 14 attempts at 40 yards and 1 TD. And Allen Hurns, he got 6 receptions, 82 yards, and 1 TD. I don't know what's up with these ground attacks, but they're just not there when it comes to yardage.
Yeah. Well, it's a passing league, and Leonard Fournette, number 4 pick overall, very high in him. He had a good first game, not such a good second game. And Bortles, not bad for him, a guy that was really on shaky ground all summer long in the preseason up until the 4th week. Tennessee will give Seattle a game after their win this week, Fozzie thinks. What happened to Murray and Elliott on Sunday?
They shit on my fantasy league. That's what happened.
Ezekiel gave up on an interception, too. They were talking about that on the radio a lot today.
We'll get to Ezekiel, Mr. 9 attempts in 8 yards, you fucker.
Yes, I can't even describe that. Then Arizona at Indianapolis. Arizona wins the game. Indianapolis, I don't know what Luck's status is. I looked at the injuries when I was doing my picks today, and they didn't have those injuries up yet for the Colts. But just in case, I didn't pick them, and just like I didn't pick them the last 2 weeks, Arizona wins at the Indianapolis Dome there. So not a shocker either there, right, Dave?
No. Palmer went 19 for 36, 332 yards with 1 TD. Johnson actually made an appearance during this game and went 11 attempts for 44 yards. That was your highest.
They brought him back after they cut him. Yeah, because he took the other Johnson spot who's on
44
IR.
yards in 11 attempts. That's 4 yards per
Not
carry,
bad
man.
for an old guy just coming back from his house off the couch, for a couple of weeks off.
In my mind, Chris Johnson is a beast. And then late, I don't know where his time went, but it went by quick.
Yeah.
And Nelson got 5 receptions for 120 yards and 1 touchdown. And on the flip side, Indy, Russell, he went 20 for 37, 216 yards, 0 TDs.
They started with Kobe Brissett.
Gore, 14 attempts, 46 yards, 1 touchdown. And Doyle, 8 receptions, 79 yards. That's another shitty game. Palmer was the key, and same with Nelson.
Yeah, Mikey Crazy Hawk says no luck equals Colts worst team in the NFL. Not so fast. We got the Jets still. We didn't get to the Jets yet, Mike. Brown staying in your shorts.
But I definitely agree with no lucks. The Colts suck.
They
without
suck,
a doubt.
but yeah, Kobe Brissett is better quarterback than what the Jets are putting on the field right now. And then the next game, Buffalo, after they looked really good against the Jets, not hard to do, go to Carolina and lose to the Panthers. Not a shocker either. You got Cam Newton when he's healthy. Carolina is a really good team.
The numbers here suck, too. The Bills, Taylor, the quarterback, went 17 for 25 for 125 yards.
Oof.
No touchdowns.
Yuck.
He was also the lead running back for eight attempts for 55 yards, 0.
Wow.
And then you got McCoy, the running back, was
Top
actually
receiver.
the top wide receiver for 6 receptions, 34 yards.
Wow. Shady McCoy and Tyrod Taylor look like Hall of Famers against the Jets.
That's bad.
That shows you what.
That's bad.
When depends on the team you're playing, the caliber of your opponent will make you look either really good or really pedestrian or really bad. And the Bills looked really bad. Newton and Benjamin shitting on my fantasy team along with Murray and Elliott and Nelson.
Nelson. It's funny because Mike's
Brazil.
almost got the same team as me.
Oh, he does? Beckham,
Oh, yeah, he got Nelson and Elliott. And, that's not good. This week pissed me off. All right, and what you want Carolina or you want to move on?
do the Panthers, sure.
Newton, 20 for 33 for 32, 228 yards, 0 TDs. Jonathan Stewart, 15 attempts for 40 yards, nothing, no touchdowns. And Benjamin went 6 receptions, 77 yards, 0 TDs. That's a low-scoring game. Let me ask you, as a football fan, do you like shootouts or do you like defensive games?
Oh, defensive. Fuck that shootout. I hate that stuff.
Really?
Oh,
I'm the complete opposite. I love high-scoring games.
I like a 10-7, snowy, in your face. It's the same thing with baseball. Give me a 2-1 pitchers duel any day than a 13-11 American League blowout. Give me that National League style baseball and give me that old NFL style football, not the AFL. 61.
I love the
56.
high-scoring games. I like it 42-38. I want to sit there and
That's arena football. Go watch arena football.
They do that in lingerie football too.
Yeah, well, that's different. I like to see because there's more celebrations in when they score. So let's watch them. Actually called the Legends Football League now.
Okay, yeah,
that's
3
or 4 years. I'm a big fan of the Legends Football League, obviously. I used to do interviews with them a lot. They used, that IFBB pros used to do that a lot the first year that it came out in 2009.
I'm not surprised, man. I went and watched them over here at the Staples.
Oh, really? You saw them?
Oh, yeah.
What's
my wife loved it. She was it was a great time.
Now they play the indoor because they did have some outdoor stadiums the first year or two, but the Staples is where the Lakers and the Clippers play and the Kings.
Gene Simmons from Kiss owns one of the teams, and that's the one we went and seen.
The LA Kiss, yeah. Simmons,
that's it.
Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley. I was supposed to get an interview with them when I worked at MD. I had the contact with the AFL, and I contacted the Kiss guy, and he was going to set up a short phone interview with one or the other, Paul or Gene, and I would have fucking loved either one because I'm a big Kiss fan. Plus, I thought it was cool, the whole football thing. I thought that was the first year when they brought it. They offered Tim Tebow. They wanted Tebow to play for them. And he said, no, thank you. Okay, so that does it for the 1 o'clock affairs. And then Sunday at 4 o'clock, our game, New York Jets at Oakland Raiders. Now, when we were departing in the airport, I said my prediction was going to be 41-3 Oakland. I gave a 38-point spread. How close
That's
was
what
I?
I thought of you. I thought of you. I was like, that fucker said 41-3, and look at that. He was not far off.
Well, I gave
45 to 20.
the Jets did score 20, and Oakland scored 45. So I was a little, off on the Jets. Were those garbage time points? Because I didn't see. I only watched the highlights, so I don't know when they had the thing.
The only highlights I seen, I swear, is Lynch's dance.
I thought it was hysterical. I thought it was great.
I've had no time for football this week, man. It's upsetting.
We didn't. But the Sabercats. Oh, that's the AFL team, and Johnny's saying the hot cheerleaders called the Saber Kittens. Now wait,
Kittens.
do lingerie or Legends football have cheerleaders? I never thought about that. I don't think they do.
No, they had girls running around.
Oh, but they don't have like a dance squad or anything. Imagine they had a bunch of like gay guys doing.
They do.
They have it.
They do. They come off on the side, and then they run off and run around the thing like a couple times, and they sit on the side, but they go on top of a stage while they're playing.
Oh, okay.
It's really weird. It's different. It's not like cheerleading per se.
It's more like, I guess like athleticism and shit.
TNA, yeah.
Yeah. I remember when the XFL was around, their thing, because it was by Vince McMahon, and they always had like the Attitude Era. Remember, it was a lot of like the Raw match, so they had the cheerleaders for the teams were like very like slutty, and it was like they would do like the pole dance kind of moves. I thought it was hysterical. I love the XFL.
They were showing behind the scenes stuff with like the cheerleaders trying to hook up with the football players. Yeah. They went everywhere with it, man. They went everywhere.
It was bad. Back to you, Rusty. They had the mics, the coaches' mic. That was fucking great. New York Jets at Oakland. All right. So what were the disgusting numbers for fucking my New York Jetties on this?
All right. 16 for 24 for 166 yards and 2 TDs.
For Josh.
And then you got
He passed, and then you got Curse had 2 nice catches actually.
Yeah, and then you had Forte, 9 attempts, 53 yards, 0 TDs, and then Curse 4 yards, 64 yards, and he's the one with the 2 TDs.
Yeah. He had actually the passes were actually nice. I don't think Hackenberg would have made those throws, but what are the Jets really gaining by having McCown throw for 2 touchdowns and a 20-fucking-something point loss? And Hackenberg was not only not playing, he was the 3rd quarterback this week. So, not even dressed. I mean,
no. Yeah.
Bust.
Yeah.
It's just wasted draft pick.
You've already been talking about enough bad stuff about the Jets, so I don't even need to dog on them, man.
No, they're just brutal. And then what was funny was a couple like McClendon, Darren Lee, and I forget one other guy were like really pissed and bitching and moaning after the game about Marshawn Lynch dancing. Like, hey, fucko, stop the guy. Tackle him. He won't be dancing then. Why wouldn't he be dancing? His team walked all over you dopes.
Oakland humiliated them. They took their penises and chopped them off at the nuts. It was not. It was definitely a show.
What were the numbers for the
23
Raiders?
Carr had 23 for 28, 230 yards and 3 touchdowns. And Richard had 6 attempts for 58 yards and 1 touchdown. And Crabtree, he went off 6 receptions, 80 yards, and he got all 3 TDs. Yeah,
Michael Crabtree. I don't know. I still don't know why the Niners let this guy go. He was still young. He was still good. I know he had a little bit of an attitude. He was holdout one year with the Niners, but he was Kaepernick's go-to guy. I mean, he was really good, and they let him go. And I know he had a slow start with the Raiders when he first got there, but he's really picked it up. And now you got Toomer on the other side too. So I mean, not Toomer. What's the other fucking kid's name on the? Who's the other receiver on the Redskins?
On the Redskins.
Not the Raiders. On the Raiders.
Don't make me think, man. I'm like in a brain fog right now.
I know. I'm still fucking foggy.
I know. Hey, what's up, Cody? Miller Motivation joined us.
Hey, fucking Mills. What's up, pal? Why doesn't every team have cheerleaders, Foz says. Well, a lot of teams like the Giants are old school. They don't like that stuff. The Jets only got them 6-7 years ago. I mean, they didn't have them for years. And a lot of teams don't have them. The Raiders do, the Raiderettes.
Yeah.
But the Jets, one of the more recent teams to finally add some young ladies on the sideline with pom-poms. But basically, easy game for the Raiders. They go 2-0, and the New Jersey Jets drop to 0-2. Again, no surprise there.
No.
The next game was the Dolphins at the Chargers. First game at the Home Depot 30,000-seat soccer stadium they're going to be calling home for the next 2 years after this year. And a heartbreaker for the Chargers. Haven't they lost 2 games because their kicker has missed 2 either tying or winning field goals? This kid who barely won the job, this Asian kid.
Yeah, Rivers performed. Rivers is great. I know you don't do fantasy football, but Rivers is actually a very good quarterback when it comes to fantasy. He threw 31 for 39, 331 yards, and he got a touchdown. Those are solid numbers.
He's a solid quarterback, yeah. He's always been good.
He's always solid.
Johnny with a good point. They let Crabtree go after his arrest, and the Raiders take all of the fucking bad guys. Actually, very good point, Johnny. I knew there had to be other, because I knew he had to hold out, and he was a little bit of a malcontent, but I didn't realize the arrest. Pete Kenny's learning the American football game. You would love it. I actually watch rugby when I catch it. I don't know what's going on, but it's fun. So, that's the same thing with if you watch American football, Kenny, you'll enjoy it. Even if you don't know everything's happening. You see some guys get their fucking heads fucking chopped off. It's great. But
Johnny also says the Raiders have a lot of parolees on the team, so they welcomed him. I think
yes.
you're mixing up Oakland with Dallas now, Johnny.
Well, Oakland has always been one of those teams too, though. That's had some fucking over the years.
Yeah, not in the past, not in a while.
Well, the Bengals are the top team. They're like the Trailblazers were in the NBA. The Bengals always have been. Yes, Dallas is right there also. But Oakland, they used to have that stigma attached to them. They used to have the fucking bad guys. But so Miami goes into I still can't get used to this. L.A., not San Diego, and the Chargers drop to 0-2 after they could easily be 1-1 or 2-0. Davey.
Yeah. Yep. For 3 attempts for Oliver, 31 yards, 0 TDs. Keenan Allen, 9 receptions for 100 yards on the dot, no TDs. Miami, Jay Cutler, 24 for 33 with 230 and 1 TD, and Isaiah. 28 attempts, 122 yards. Well, how you say it?
Ajayi.
Ajayi?
Yeah.
Hey, listen, man, I still call you Pietro. Okay? So
Ajayi will be fine, however you say it. Yeah.
And then Parker went 4 receptions, 85 yards, and 0 TDs. So
not a bad game for Cutler at all. Efficiency-wise, not great yardage, but, good yardage, decent. They won the game. That's the bottom line. They go on the road, and they win a game that they should have won because they're a better team than the Chargers, even with a quarterback that's only joined the team a month or so ago. So, Miami, this is a team that if they get the quarterback play that they need out of Jay Cutler, he doesn't have to win the game. He just has to not lose the game. They're a good team. They're a playoff, borderline playoff team, and they made it last year with Tannehill, who's not a fucking fire setter either when it comes to statistics. Either Ryan Tannehill.
Cutler's Mr. Conservative.
Yeah, Cutler, can he be good? Is going to be the question. He can also throw you that killer pick like he's done a million times with the Bears when he played there. So Miami, they do their thing. I actually read something pretty cool. I don't know if it was on NFL.com? It was a reporter who went to that game at Home Depot, or StubHub Center, not Home Depot. And he went real early, and he got, from seats all around. He was taking, pictures and stuff. Then he went to the press box when the game started. But he said there's not a bad seat in the house. The place, it was a fun place to watch, but it was obvious that it's not going to be an easy attraction because there was a lot of Miami Dolphin jerseys in the stands. But the Dolphins are a team like Dallas, like Oakland. You're going to get fans everywhere you go on road games. Yeah. Those are popular teams. The Vikings even. Those are teams that you're not going to see Jaguars, all over the place, but you're going to see Dolphin fans all over, not just in Florida.
A few years ago, Chicago came down, and when Chargers were playing in San Diego, they played in San Diego.
Yeah.
My friend Justin went over there. His father used to play for the Cowboys. So
wow.
his father's actually a Chicago Bear fan. So he went over there, Justin bought him tickets. The whole stadium was Chicago. I'm like, what the fuck are Chicago Bear fans doing in California?
Well, that's
Like,
another
you wouldn't
team.
expect it.
That's another team that's old and popular. You get a lot of these teams that when they're successful teams, like some people are still Bears fans because they jumped on the 85 bandwagon with that fucking amazing defensive team. So what team is looking good at the moment? Not the Jets, I can tell you that. There's a lot of teams that are looking good. Denver, I'd have to say, is the biggest shock
Oakland.
this year. Oakland.
If you want to be a football fan, can you go with Oakland?
Not a bad choice. No, not a bad choice at all.
Crazy Hawk just made every team has a lot of fans when playing the Chargers. That is so true. That's why they're no
Yeah.
longer in San Diego, man. They couldn't even
Yeah.
sell out their own stadium.
That's bad. I mean, that's really bad.
And it's a beautiful place. I love San Diego. If I moved anywhere else out of California, it'd be the San Francisco or San Diego. Gorgeous.
Just an old stadium, though. That stadium was built in the 60s for the Padres. So, I mean, Jack Murphy Stadium, and they called it Qualcomm, I think they changed it to. Was that Qualcomm, right? And then Petco was the Padres got their own place. They used to have a multi-purpose where the Padres and Chargers both played. But the L.A. Chargers, back where they started in 1960 in the
I can't get used
AFL.
to calling them that.
The next game, Johnny's favorite team, the Niners, they play at Seattle. 12th man, tough place to play. Seattle easily wins that game. How did that look to you on paper?
As for on paper, you got Wilson with 23 for 39 attempts, 198 yards, 1 touchdown. Carson led the ground, 20 attempts, 93 yards, 0 TDs. And Tyler Lockett, 6 receptions, 64 yards, 0 TDs. That's on Seattle. On San Fran, you had Hoyer, 15 for 27, 99 yards, Joe.
Whoa, I know they're good defense, but Brian Hoyer, you're a veteran. You can't throw for 100 yards. I can't throw for under 100 in the NFL.
Then you had Hyde with 15 attempts, 124 yards. And then Pierre Garçon led the receptions. 3 receptions, 26 yards.
Why is he even on that team? Johnny, why did they sign Pierre Garçon, and why did he sign with them?
Yeah,
We said that in the preview.
Because I'm stuck on this too, man.
Remember the preview? We were like, why are they signing guys like Bobby Hoyer, Brian Hoyer, and Pierre Garçon? Why are they signing these veterans? Like, why the Jets signing McCown? That's just saying along the same lines. CJ Beathard will be starting there soon. 99 yards. He signed for money. I know he signed for money, but why did they want him now? Spanos is giving free bus rides to and from LA to watch the Chicago. Is desperate. Ooh, he's a terrible owner, Spanos. Really bad owner. I mean, he's like Woody Johnson, fucking bad. Why can't I have fucking Jerry Jones own the team I like? I love Jerry Jones. He's the fucking coolest dude in the fucking league, man. All right, so San Fran, they dropped to 0-2. Seattle, they're 1-1 because they lost to Green Bay in that opening game. So obviously that was a must-win, as must-win as you get in Week 2 in the NFL. But Seattle playing a weak sister divisional opponent at home after dropping the first game, they got to win that game, and they do. Fuck Spanos. I don't even like the Chargers. Jerry Jones needs to buy the Browns. Why don't we have him own all the teams in the NFL so they all get run correctly? Next game, the Skins at the Rams, your favorite team. The Los Angeles, used to be Cleveland, used to be Los Angeles, used to be St. Louis, and again, Los Angeles Rams. Washington, when they have a 100-yard runner, their record is like 80-something% or higher in the past, I don't know how many years. So the key to the Redskins is, can they establish the run? And if they do, they usually get the W. And what did they have here today, last week? Excuse me.
Kelly had 12 attempts for 78 yards. He was the leading ground attack. So I was surprised at that too, because I figured you, at least with that kind of score, one of those numbers would be matching up.
Yeah.
But even Reed, 6 receptions, 48 yards, 0 TDs, and Cousins, 18 for 27, 179 yards and 1 TD.
Terrible.
So these numbers, looking at them on the paper and then seeing a score of 27, that has to be a lot of turnovers or something.
Turnovers or special teams, big play. It's like
that's what I'm saying.
These teams are winning with quarterbacks throwing for 100 and something yards or 210 yards. I mean, so something is going right for these. They're getting good breaks or whatever, and they're taking advantage. I mean, good teams win the games when they don't play their best. And I
Yep.
don't know if Washington's a good team. I think they're a very mediocre team. But they needed to win this game because they lost the opening game to the Eagles at home. So they go to LA, a conference game, and they win the game. What was Goff and stuff? How'd they look?
Goff went 14 for 24, 219 yards and 1 TD. So this is 2 games in a row. He's actually performed. He
You're not
performed
right.
enough to win the game. So
Yeah.
And Todd Gurley went 16 attempts, 88 yards and 1 TD, and Everett 3 receptions for 97 yards.
Wow. All right.
So
well, those are good.
He caught a bomb. He
Yeah,
caught
that's-
a bomb or somewhere.
That's good yards after the catch, depending on, like, again, we were in Las Vegas, guys, so we weren't able to watch. We were actually in flying. If we were in Las Vegas, we could have watched all of these games at the same time at the sports desk. But we were en route to our respective residences, as they say. So the Skins beat the Rams. Both teams even out at 1 apiece for the seasonal record. And then the game in the evening, very surprising game here. Dallas goes to Denver, and I know Denver played well in the opening game, but so did the boys. And Dallas plays like shit on Sunday Night Football. Very disappointing game. Like you said before, 8 yards for 9 attempts for Elliott.
For Elliott.
Zeke, what
For
the fuck?
Elliott.
What happened to you, bro?
Dude, you know who was the leading rusher for that game? Prescott. 3 attempts for 24 yards.
That's horrible. Running for his life, probably, the way the game was going.
Probably.
Not designed fucking rushes either, probably.
Prescott threw 30 for 50 for 238 yards and 2 TDs, but not enough to win the game. Denver just destroyed him.
Simeon, 2 games in a row. I think, if I remember correctly, I know I wasn't a Simeon guy. I think you might have been similar to me. He's made us both eat our words in the first 2 weeks of the NFL season, bro.
Simeon threw 4 TDs, man. They weren't big. They couldn't have been big. He went 22 for 32, 231 yards, but 4 touchdowns.
Simeon, that's Prescott should have been doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
Fozzie, you watched the game, I guess. If anybody watched the game, I mean, feel free to fill us in. What went wrong with Elliott? I mean, did they go away from the run that early in the game? I mean, he still only had 9 attempts. That's not a lot of attempts. I mean, they must have threw the ball a lot. Was it their vaunted offensive line just didn't protect them?
No, they did abandon the run. They did abandon the run. My friend Dave was telling me today at the gym there was like no running game whatsoever. It was just pass and play catch up. So
Yeah.
it apparently didn't work out for him because Denver just destroyed him.
I watched very little bit of this game. I was so beat when I got home from the airport. I didn't get home until like 9 something. And then I ate something quick, and I was just talking with my wife and my son and opening the mail and shit. So I really didn't watch the game. I had it on briefly when we went to bed, but I fell asleep so fast. But I saw the score, and I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, holy shit, Dallas just is really un-Dallas-like playing.
Very un-Dallas-like.
And what do you make of Denver, the way they started the season?
You know what? I'm stuck. Again, when we talked about this in preseason, we said Denver's line is the one that's going to be holding them up.
Yeah.
So I think that's what it was. It was that defense wanted to play at home, and they performed.
Von Miller is just, I mean, I don't even know what he did on Sunday, but he's just a difference maker. He makes everybody else around him good because sometimes you got to leave a running back there to protect because he's going to get right through the line. He's going to get through your tackle. So you got to leave somebody back there as a second guy. So he definitely changes game plans, Miller. He's just a fucking stud. And then the Monday night affair, another game I didn't get a chance to watch. Not the Monday, I'm sorry, Green Bay and Atlanta. No, that was the 4:00 game, I'm sorry. The 8:00 game, this was the one I only caught a little bit of. Green Bay and Atlanta. We both had this one wrong, right? Atlanta playing at home.
Yeah, I went with the Packers.
Beats Mikey's
I know I went
Packers.
with the Packers.
Joe, Jay and Dave, what game should I watch? It'll be my first time. Roz, thanks so much for jumping in, man. I'll see you later. Thanks for all the good comments and the encouraging words. I appreciate it, and we all do. Pete
If
Kenny wants to know what game should he watch first time out of the box.
what would you say? Because you're a defensive type of game, so you like the low scoring, and I'm the opposite. So
Well, you know what?
what kind of game would you say?
Kenny, we're gonna finish up quick, and then we're gonna do our picks for next week, and then
Yeah.
we'll
And
do
we'll
it
get
then,
to that one.
because I'm gonna look at the list then. I guess we'll make these ones quick. Green Bay at Atlanta. What was some of the numbers on that? Green Bay obviously had a great game at
Green Bay,
home, but lost
Rodgers,
on the road.
33 for 50, 343 yards and 2 TDs. And I'm going to say I know for a fact that was after halftime because I had flipped the switch on before going to bed, and I looked at my fantasy lineup, and I had seen Aaron Rodgers was at -5. And I was like, oh, fuck this game. I'm not even going to watch it. And then I woke up to, surprisingly, he made numbers. So those numbers were well into the third, into the fourth. But Montgomery, 10 receptions, 35 yards, 1 TD. And Devontae Adams, 8 receptions, 99 yards, and 1 touchdown. Matt Ryan threw 19 for 28, 252 yards, 1 TD. Freeman, 19 attempts, 84 yards, and 2 TDs.
Nice game,
and
man. Yeah.
Jones had 5 receptions for 108 yards, 0 TDs.
Julio Jones is good. Freeman's a top running back. Ice Ryan, Matty Ice. Atlanta's.
I like Atlanta.
I mean, they're the defending conference champion. I kind of thought Green Bay was gonna, because they looked so good opening afternoon. But not the end of the world either for both teams. That's a good game. The home team won. Monday night, Giants. We both had the Giants. No, you had the Lions. Excuse me. Wow, what made you pick the Lions in that? Great pick, but what made you think that game?
You know what? I barely ever pick against the Giants. The Giants are my second team, but my gut was just saying I think Detroit is going to be a little too much for them after the week the Giants had the prior. That's what I was thinking about, and they did. Detroit beat them 24-10
handedly.
So yeah, and they didn't. Again, this had to have been the defense because Stafford only threw 15 for 25, 122 yards with 2 TDs. So. That's really low, 122 yards, man.
Yeah, for him especially.
Yeah. Abdullah got 17 attempts at 86 yards, 0 TDs, and Ebron got 5 receptions for 42 yards and 1 TD. On the flip side, you had Manning, 22 for 32, 239 yards, 1 TD. Vereen, 6 attempts at 28 yards.
Yeah, the running back.
28 yards. And Ingram, 4 receptions for 49 yards and 1 TD.
That's the tight end. So, obviously, Beckham's not 100%. He played, so he's not fully back. I think that the Giants, I was very surprised they lost that game like that. I thought if they were going to lose the game, it would be one of those nail-biters and then, a field goal to win it at the end. I didn't think Detroit was going to beat them by that much. The Giants' offensive line is playing really bad right now. They need to get that righted. 0-2 you could live with, especially because that division teams are going to knock each other off. But the Giants, they got to stop the bleeding like right now, because if they go 0-3, you may have to almost say that they're not. They're an 11-win team. You go 0-3, it's almost impossible to reach that number again. All right, let's jump into the picks. We got 10 minutes left. Tomorrow night game, big game. Rams at Frisco. I know Johnny will be happy, and of course Dave, the biggest Ram fan going, will be really happy. I'm picking the Rams. I like the way the Rams have been playing.
I'm going with where they playing, Joe. I didn't even pick this one. I'm going to do it right now.
San Francisco.
Man, I got to pick
at
the Rams.
San Fran. Johnny goes, what? You're going to pick the
I
Rams?
got the Rams. I'm sorry, Johnny.
Sorry,
I
Johnny.
want to pick San Francisco, but damn.
I got to go. I think that I think they're playing pretty good. You liked them a lot in the preseason. You picked them to win the division.
I did.
I'm still not picking them to win a division, but I think in this game they'll win. Sunday 1 p.m. the 2-0 Ravens at the 1-1 Jacksonville Jaguars.
I have the Ravens.
I got Ravens too, man. I've been picking against them, and they've been hurting me. 0-2 versus 0-2. This is the game, P. Kenny, that you don't want to watch. Cleveland at Indianapolis. I got the Brownies only because I don't think Luck is playing, even though the injury report is not released on Wednesday. Who do you got, Brownies or Colts?
I went with Indy.
Oh, good. Okay, good. Here we go. Stella, here's your game. 0-2 New York football Giants at Eagles. 1-1 Eagles. I'm going with the Giants because I don't think they're gonna fucking shit the bed this early in the year and make it a Jet season in 3 weeks.
I went with Philly.
Ooh, see, now's a chance for us to fucking separate.
No, it's a chance for you to catch up.
No, well, let's separate. Yeah, it could go the other way.
You're either catching up or I'm burying you.
Oh, I could go down really quick. The 1-0, because the first game was postponed. Dolphins at the 0-2 Jets. I'm not even thinking. I told you what my game is that the Jets are going to win, and it's not this game. I am picking the Fish. You got the Fish or the Jets?
I got Miami. Yeah.
2-0 Denver at 1-1 Buffalo. Now Denver could really just fucking put this game away in the first quarter, and I think they will. I got the Broncos.
I got the Broncos too.
0-2 New Orleans at 2-0 Carolina. This is an interesting game, divisional matchup. Guess what I got?
Don't say you pick New Orleans.
New Orleans Saints. I am picking the Saints in this game. Who dat? Because I think Drew Brees is going to have a bounce back. He hasn't been playing bad. I just think it's one of those desperation games. And Carolina can lose this game. They're 2-0. It's not the end of the world if they lose it. New Orleans, you got to win this game if they want to finish somewhere within 500. I'm going with the New Orleans Saints.
I went Carolina.
Okay, great. I love it. I love it. This is another game not to watch, Kenny. Pittsburgh 2-0 at 0-2 Chicago. Snooze fest, Big Ben all day long.
Big time. Yeah, Pittsburgh.
2-0. Now, this might be the game to watch, Kenny. 2-0 Atlanta at 2-0 Detroit. I like that this game is in Detroit because it's a better chance for it to be a better game. And Detroit's playing really well, but Atlanta, I just can't see them losing this game because dome's a dome. So, even though it's Detroit's dome, it's good. They're comfortable in the dome because they got their own. I like Matty Ice. I like the Atlanta Falcons to beat the Detroit Lions.
I went with Stafford. I'm a Lions guy this week.
He was hot with them last week. That's the game so far in my head I would like. The 1-0 Tampa, same reason as Miami, at 1-1 Minnesota. I like Minnesota at home. I think they're going to win this game, bounce back game. I like Bradford. I think he's going to do well. Tampa Bay, good team, but I think they'll split their games. Not going to split. I
got Minnesota, too.
You got Minnesota. All right. I think that this is a game for Minnesota. 1-1 Houston at 1-1 New England. It's not even hesitation.
New England.
Without a doubt. 4 o'clock games on Sunday. 4 o'clock games.
If they lose 2 games at home like that again, dude, I'm going to be really pissed off.
Well, I think they were 6-2 at home last year and 8-0 on the road, right?
Yeah.
So
that's true.
But not this early in the year. They'll lose to the Jets at home, right? Seattle Seahawks 1-1 at 1-1 Tennessee. This one was tough for me to pick because I like Tennessee. I like them at home, but I like Seattle better. I went with the Hawks.
Okay, I went with Tennessee.
Oh, wow, we're gonna see who's fucking
We got
better.
a lot of different ones right now.
Your favorite, Kevin's favorite team, the 0-2 Bungles at the 1-1 Green Bay Packers. Now, if this game isn't a fucking 45-3 like the 41-3 like the Jets, I got Mikey's team.
Packers.
Mikey, Pete Kenny, he's taking our advice. KC, 2-0 KC at Chargers. Another home game at the StubHub Center, 0-2. Tomahawk chop all the way.
Kansas City.
This one's an interesting game. Your guys, the 2-0 Oakland Raiders, Sunday night affair at 1-1 Washington. I know who you're picking, and I'm going with you.
Raiders!
I got to go with the Raiders on that one. Monday night, 1-1 versus 1-1. Dallas at Arizona. Former divisional mates for many years. I can't see Dallas having 2 fucking eggs in a row. They're not going to lay 2 in a row. I got the Cowboys.
I went with Arizona.
Oh, Davey's going with the fucking Cardies. You know what? It wouldn't surprise me if the Cardinals win because they're at home, But I see Dallas. The dissension's going to stop midweek. They're going to say enough of this.
I want them to have a big week. I do for my fantasy football.
Okay.
I want Dallas to have a good week.
So that's the story.
I went with Arizona.
Week 3 picks are in. Pete Kenny is going to be a football fan because Atlanta playing Detroit. Now, it doesn't mean it's going to be a big, great game, but that's the best matchup, I think, out of this. It's not a great week. There's a lot of shit teams playing good teams.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the Oakland and Washington game, but
That'd be good, bro.
yeah, there's not really a lot of good games. So how many different picks do we got this week, and where do we stand in the standings?
You're 3 games up. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games off each other.
Wow.
So it could come back. We
You-
can be
You could
be
not
together.
only come back, but you could gain the lead this week easily.
I'd have to, yeah, but I got to sweep. That's not going to happen.
You never know, man. You
listen-
see, that's that thinking positive.
Fuck with this positive guy. I'm not thinking positive because what kind of past few days I've had. We spoke off the air, but if I'm within 3 games, that's a striking distance to me. 2 or 3 games.
Yeah.
If I'm 10 back, and then then I'm fucking eating fucking crow. Then Mr. Big fucking sports writer is gonna get his balls handed to him by fucking Oakland Raider fucking fan here. But yeah, I think the lock of the week. Man, what? Even though we never do this, I'm just curious. Like, what would be the lock of the week? Wow, Pittsburgh, Chicago. I think the Bears are fucking
Ooh.
sucky. Pittsburgh's good. I know
Yeah, that one, it didn't even take me a second to think about.
but could it be a trap game though? At a conference on the road, could easily be a
Nah.
trap game. And they played shitty against the Browns opening game, and they won by 3. They
Nah,
did enough
it's
to
not a
win.
trap game. I think Pittsburgh's got that easily.
I think so, but I'm
I
just saying
didn't even think about that game. That was like, yeah.
yeah, that's
Who's
like
the Jets playing?
the Jets, Dolphins at
Yeah.
Giant Stadium.
Yeah, that's another one that.
I don't call it MetLife because it's just Giant Stadium Part 2 to me. As a Jet fan, that is not MetLife Stadium. It's not they call it the Meadowlands. When the Jets played there, they call it the Meadowlands. When the Giants played there, they call it the Giant Stadium. It's the same building. Stop changing the name of it. We got 2 minutes remaining. Of course, guys, musclesportmag.com/subscribe. We have a sports column in there, and I know that this issue coming up, I did basketball in the summer issue, but I'm going to be doing football in this issue coming up. We're going to be doing a lot more sports on the site as well. And obviously this program and the new shirts. Dave's wearing the pink, $10 free shipping. I'm wearing the double-sided. You can see the back, right? Can you see the back, Davey?
Yep, that's the crew shirt from the Olympia weekend.
This is the shirt me, Kevin, and Davey were wearing. This is $15. Also free shipping. I'm ordering a couple of shirts. I noticed they're only in XL. Johnny, yes, they're only in XL. These are only in. Actually, the old ones I had with the big in the front, I did have some larges of those, so I put those up on the site as well as having larges. But these are all XL. And the panties, the G-string panties. Crystal and Thea sent me some shots posing in the panties.
I seen the post, the Thea post you threw up on the top on the
Yes.
story.
Yes. Am I doing the World Cup next year? I do like the World Cup. I do like soccer. I used to coach my kid in soccer, so I do enjoy the game. But I'll do some stuff on the website of it. I'm ordering a few. Cool, good. Guys, order the shirts because I need the money now.
Johnny, how much do you weigh, Johnny? Are you like 150 pounds or something or more?
I'll get my wife a pair of the panties. Yes, panties are only in medium, but we have 15 seconds left. The shirts are extra large. This one's a nice stretchy one. This will fucking fit you, man. That one is a little
I was
baggier.
thinking.
That one's a little baggier, that style. But guys, check us out tomorrow, AMA, 3 o'clock Eastern. See you then. Davey, that's going to pretty much do it for us. I shared my story. That is going to do it for us on this week's edition of NFL Coast to Coast. For Dave Comerica Muscle Goys, I am Joe Pietaro. We will see you in 1 week.